Something brand new that you've brought to the center, which I was really very excited about because it's a little bit personal for me, is thermography. And you have Jeannie Wilson there at the center bringing her, it's her business actually.
It's her business, and she just comes in our office and does it, I think, once or twice a month now.
Which is fantastic. How did you connect with her or even know that this was, I believe, a bit of a missing link?
Years ago, I saw and read about thermography. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't find a thermographer.
Right.
And once again, I believe that, you know, sometimes the universe aligns everything for us. Jeannie actually came by way of the lady who's doing the ionic foot bath. Okay. She was recommended to us. We contacted her, and she came in. And thermography, what it does is it catches energy, pain energy, at a very early stage, because what it does is it picks up the heat off at the cellular level, and there's no radiation. Okay, so we're not exposing the person to any extra radiation that they don't need. And where Jeannie's actually a 2-time breast cancer survivor. Right. Okay, and on her second cancer, she found it through thermography. Right. And she was able to find it at an early enough stage to where they didn't have to do invasive therapies. Right, exactly. And that's what sold her on it. So what I was always looking for, and what I needed to kind of back up what we're doing with the center, is we need to take full body scans, because we need to show how the pain has dissipated in areas where it was so great. Wow. And thermography will show that. In fact, Jeannie and I have talked about doing some research projects, bringing people in and actually following a before thermograph of them after the session. Oh my gosh. So we'll have a before and after, and we will actually follow them through a series of treatments. And I want to also include, how does this change after they've done a Pilates session? Boy, that is so cool. How will it change after a Reiki session? Boy, that'd be some fantastic research. So it's evidence. There it is. Yeah, I believe that that's what we need, is because that's what we are as an evidence-based society. So that's why we brought thermography, and that was one of the missing components, and I'm happy to have that now. I think it's fantastic. Let's take a look at Jeannie Wilson demonstrating some thermography for us and how her equipment works, and she's also sharing her story. So now we're here with Jeannie Wilson of New Hope Imaging, which is the name of your company, and you are bringing some of your services here to Chagrin Valley Wellness Center. Correct. So exactly what is New Hope Imaging? What are you doing?
Thermography.
Okay, what is thermography?
Digital infrared imaging. Okay. And so what it does is it maps out the blood flow and the nerves throughout the body.
Via what kind of, how is it picking up the blood flow? It's not radiation, it's not X-ray?
No, it's the thermal imaging, it reads heat.
So it's literally heat. That. So it's just picking up heat. It's not putting any rays or anything in my body. Nope. And why would that be important? What is heat indicative of?
Well, heat is indicative of our blood flow, first of all.
Okay, very true.
Second of all, cancer is fed by blood, which is a lot of heat.
Which is how it's very difficult to kill it, because it creates its own vasculature.
Right. Okay.
So is this something, because cancer, who's not concerned about that?
Absolutely.
That could be picked up, this change in vasculature that's manifest as extra heat, be picked up before, say, somebody picks up a tumor with a mammogram or a biopsy or anything like that. That's the idea, right?
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Because there's blood flow to the cancer before when there's two cancer cells side by side, there's blood flow. Wow. So we actually map out the blood flow before it even comes to a tumor. I mean, we can actually see that long before.
And then, okay, wow. Okay.
Because we're mapping out the entire blood flow through the body. And so what they're doing is they're measuring blood flow from your heart to your lungs to other places. When it starts to branch off and say go to the breast, nothing in the breast is fed by blood except for tissue. Right. So anytime that the vascular patterns are starting to branch off and go to the breast, we know that there's a problem gonna happen down the road.
And does the medical community also acknowledge this? Like, I can't help but think to myself, being a pharmacist, why don't physicians' offices have this, or do they?
They do, but they don't use it as like the Cleveland Clinic has it, but they don't
thought
use
so.
it. Yeah, but they just don't use it on an everyday basis. They rely on mammograms.
I see. So this is not their first line.
No, no.
And-
But see, this is the only thing. Like mammograms doesn't detect inflammational cancer. So
Which is what? How is that different than?
it doesn't. It doesn't actually create a tumor.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay, like
so-
that's what we think of then. We think of breast
Right.
cancer, this hard tumor that we got to go
Right.
in and get out.
And it's not always the case. No.
Wow. Okay.
And this is the only thing that will detect inflammational cancer.
Okay, which is, and how would normally inflammational cancer be treated in the medical community?
The same way as they normally do.
Okay,
It'd be probably mastectomy.
so are you, when you get this imagery, you're sending this, if I understand correctly, to a physician?
Yes, a
To-
group of physicians that
Okay.
actually have been trained at Duke University to read these.
Which are part of your company?
Yes.
So you're not, you bring the machine, you offer the service, and then physicians analyze it, and then do they talk directly with the patient,
No,
directly with the patient's physician?
no,
Okay.
neither. What they do is they write a report. The
Nice.
report gets sent back
Got
to
it.
me. I send it to the patients.
That's
And then
perfect.
they can just choose whatever
What
route they want to go.
Privacy is maintained then.
Yes.
And everyone understands that's what's happening. So it's being evaluated, and then they do with that information what they choose. Because
Right.
I'm assuming the people that are coming to you are a little bit savvy,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly.
How would you describe your average client? Where are they coming from? What do they want?
Doctors' wives, doctors' moms, doctors' sisters.
Oh my goodness, isn't that interesting? And I think to myself then, if when women go to their doctor, they would ask their doctor, where would you send your mom or your
Well, they
wife or
don't,
your sister?
and they can't tell them unless you specifically say to your doctor, "What about thermography? Can I use
Thank
this
you.
instead?" They can't. They absolutely cannot even recommend it because they're controlled by our insurance companies and
Okay, so it's not reimbursable by insurance.
No.
So when people are coming in here, they're paying cash for this.
exactly.
It
Now
can't.
there are government fund or government employees are paid for, and school employees are paid for. Their
With
insurance,
thermography.
their insurance will cover this.
Okay, so there's some credibility there.
Yes.
There are groups that acknowledge this is valid.
Yes.
We just have to get more groups acknowledging
Yes.
that it's valid.
And there are companies that are actually adding us to their policy.
Interesting.
Yes.
Really? Because it's going to save them money.
Yes.
And that's probably what the studies show, is
Yes.
it not? That if you can detect anything you can detect
Yes.
early, you have much less cost
Right.
down the road. All right, so are you willing to do a little demo for us?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to demo on me.
Yeah.
All right, where should I?
We'll have you pull the stool
Okay.
out here and just move it to right about where your seat is.
Okay.
I'll just do your head.
Okay, so I'm going to just
You
sit.
sit down, yep. And you're going to face forward.
Okay. And once again, I'm not being radiated with anything. No waves are
there's-
coming at me.
No,
Yeah.
this actually has no radiation whatsoever. It's just reading the heat from your body and going to put a picture on my screen for me.
Okay. So,
You-
should I stay still?
Nope, you can talk.
Okay. Really? Mm-hmm. So if there's a lot of heat, that means I have a lot of brain power, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Or there's a tumor.
No. Move this up.
This seems like, is this simple technology? How long has this technology been available?
30 years.
30 years.
Yes.
This is what I say sometimes on my show, that there's a bit of a gap between science and the medical. Like science is available, but we're not incorporating it.
Right. Okay, now I am going to have you sit still because I think I have you where I need you. Okay, I have your image here.
Okay, so we can check that out.
Yes. Thermal imaging is just not for the breast, it's for the whole body. But also that early detection is, like with me, with the breast cancer, I was detected so early. And with mammograms, it's detected, like you have to have 100,000 cancer cells in one area for them to detect it as a pin.
Wow. And then,
Huge difference.
and that point you said when two cancer cells are together, this can pick up.
Yes, because it has
Two
blood
cancer
flow.
cells together?
It has blood flow. That's what we're mapping
That's
out.
the first
is
thing
blood
they
flow.
do, the cancer cells, because they're not stupid.
Right.
They get in there and they say, we need food.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
And
that's the definition of cancer. It takes
Yes.
from the life.
Right.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing, amazing technology, and thank you so much for
You're
sharing
very
this with
welcome.
us. Thank you.
You're very welcome.